جنوبيين بنستحق عشان نعيش بالسلام، نستحمل بعض ونصالح خلافاتنا ونعيش بالسلام. ده رسالة تسامح والتعايش السلمي بيجيك من اي راديو عينك في جنوب السودان.
This is a message of peace. We all are South Sudanese. It does not matter where anyone comes from. We need to respect each other and support each other because we are one. We all are human beings. As South Sudanese, we deserve to coexist peacefully, tolerate one another, reconcile all our differences, and live peacefully. This is a message of tolerance and peaceful coexistence brought to you by iRadio, your eye on South Sudan.
Welcome to the Sundown Show. On this show, we bring you the movers and shakers of South Sudan and the world over. We engage in debates and discussions that unearth the stories behind the news. And we have our light moments too by chit-chatting about issues that affect our day-to-day life. Stay right here on the Sundown. Join in and be part of the show on iRadio, your eye on South Sudan. The Sundown, for the news, views, opinion, debates and discussions. Listen to who is who talking about issues that affect our country and continent. Only on the Sundown, your eye on South Sudan.
Hello and welcome to the Sundown Show on iRadio with me, Madrama James. Today is Wednesday, the 21st of May, 2025. The program comes to you Monday to Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. for comprehensive look at the daily events, the latest information, in-depth analysis, exclusive interviews, and exciting surprises. To be part of the show, call us on 091122 986 986. Meanwhile, you can send for us a text message on 0913 986 986. If you can't access the radio, we are also on Facebook, X, YouTube, and more. You can also stream this broadcast live by logging to that's our website at www.iradio.org. Coming up. The newly appointed South Sudan Police spokesperson, Major General James Monday Enoka, has promised to work hand in hand with the media as he assumes the office right here in Juba.
Media houses should refer to the spokesperson as the source of the information. Anything short of this will be considered a violation of the laws, including...
Yes, so we will hear more from Major General James Monday Enoka. Meanwhile, we shall also turn our focus to a major development issues in the justice sector, where the Minister of Cabinet Affairs, Dr. Martin Elia Lumuro, this morning launched a two-day stakeholders conference on the establishment of the transitional justice mechanism here in Juba.
The reason and the basis for the Commission of Truth, Reconciliation and Healing. As civil society, your job is you have to explain to the people why this commission is being established. And it's being established the way it's being established.
Yes, Dr. Martin Elia Lumuro will provide for us insight of that particular development, plus some other key stakeholders who have attended today's conference, and it's ending tomorrow. This and more coming to you in today's edition of the Sundown Show. I am your host, Madrama James. Stay tuned.
Itabasma le radio الحقيقة I radio نتاكم في جنوب السودان.
مرحبا بكم مستمعين في كل محل في برنامج بتاعنا ده Sundown show. معكم في تقديم أنا مدرما جامسو. في نهار بتاع ليلة نينا بيبدأ برنامج جتوالي هنا في جوبا ويلقى بذافي شنو يقعد بيصل في نهاية بتاع transitional justice. The barnamicha RC. Now, turning to that same major development in the justice sector, the Minister of Cabinet Affairs, Dr. Martin Elia Lumuro, this morning launched a 2-day stakeholders conference on the establishment of the transitional justice mechanism here in Juba. The workshop brings together government officials, representatives from the African Union in South Sudan, the Army's Human Rights Division, members of the International Center for Transitional Justice, civil society organization, and faith-based groups, among others. According to Dr. Elia, the goal of this conference is to enlighten civil society on transitional justice and create a space for selecting members of the commission as outlined in the peace agreement. He addressed participants earlier today during the opening session. Let's take a look at, let's listen to that Dr. Martin Elia Lumuro as he provides more highlights on the issue.
So, the work that I am made to understand you're going to do is to create awareness, right? To tell the people that this commission is here to hear stories from what happened to you as a person, what you saw as a community member, or as a leader, or church leader, whatever, so that we fix the mistakes that happened, so that we forgive ourselves, so that we punish those who committed bad things, abuses, so that we return South Sudan to the country that we fought for many, many years. So that generations that are coming will find this country a country that everybody would like to have. There is nothing missing in our country. If it is land, plenty of it. If it is water, river, tributaries, plenty of it. If it is forestry, plenty of it. Wildlife, plenty of it. Chickens, plenty of it. Cattle, plenty of it. Gold, minerals, Malian. Benzene, Malian. What do you want? Why do you love to go to other countries and buy houses there and you don't want to build your own house, your own country? Why? So it's your duty, young people, to tell the people the truth and the correct information must be given to them. Don't go and become politicians, because I know some of you are politicians. We'll give Farouk. Some of you are politicians, you pretend to be civil society. There was one who was a very, very tough representative of civil society in RGM. Finally, we find Chakal Fingla, who is Sarah, why are you laughing? So, it is time for us to speak the truth, and the truth must not be mixed. For us, we have brought you the peace. And some of us work night and day to try to make sure this country does not fall. So we see these extensions. You hear roadmap. You hear roadmap 1, roadmap 2, roadmap 2. They're good critical thinking so that the country does not fall in vacuum. These extensions are not done for nothing because the country has not settled. People still have army in their hands. People still run the community. Somebody is a minister, but he's also as if he's a paramount chief in the village. We want a country that is free from any politician having guns, so that the people have power in their hands and they can vote for the people they want. That's the end of the day. And then you wait for your day. You only want, I don't know, 1 square meter will come. Who Friday come? 1 meter and a half will you? Every one of us here, in the end, you die. So do what you can for your country when you have the opportunity, and stop messing around. Tell the people that we don't want war, and that we have come to tell you there is this commission which has been established for you to say your story. Say what happened to you. Say what you don't like. Say what you like. Say what you saw to your neighbor. This is what we want you, our young people, to go and do. I think there's a lot of improvement in the civil society. I don't know how you got the magic, but I think you're going in the right direction. Otherwise, thank you very much. God bless you.
Yes, you have heard from Minister Dr. Elia Alumuro right there addressing the participant earlier today. Meanwhile, Honorable Deng Bona Malwa, who is the chairperson of the Standing Committee on Peace and Reconciliation, welcomed the move and described it as a step forward toward the establishment of other pending bills under the roadmap. More from him.
In December, and I remember it was on the 5th of December 2023, the two bills were presented to the Parliament by the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. And the House committed the two bills to the three committees: the Committee on Peace and Reconciliation, and the Committee on Legislation and Justice, as well as the Committee on Human Rights, to look into the bills and then report back to the House. And the process was headed by the Committee on Peace and Reconciliation. The first thing we did was to hold a workshop, to conduct a workshop. And that workshop was actually supported by the UNMIS and UNDP. Our intention was to familiarize ourselves with the contents of the two bills, as they were the first time by them to be presented to the House. After that, we went for public hearing. And during the public hearing, we collected the views of the civil society organizations, faith-based groups, community leaders, and survivors. After that, we had a validation workshop, whereby we validate the views that we collected from these categories of our society. Again, we went for a public hearing to the states, also to collect views that can inform the two bills, the CTRH and the CRA. After which, we had another workshop for validation, and then also we went for regional consultations, or in fact, learning, whereby we would like to learn what are other people doing in terms of transitional justice, especially on the CTRH and the CRA. And the visit was to Rwanda. We came back again and we had another meeting, whereby now we incorporate all the views that we collected and the experiences that we learned from other countries into the two bills. And there were some slight changes in the main text that was brought or that was submitted by the Ministry of Justice. This is how the process took place. And on 11th of November 2024, His Excellency the President of the Republic signed the two bills into the law, or actually into laws. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank the President of the Republic for taking this bold step in signing the two bills into the law. And we all know, as South Sudanese, that the two bills that were enacted into the laws were the only two, were the only, and for the first time in the country, that we had such two bills that are enacted into the law that are about to be implemented. Now, let me say something about the selection process. It has already been stipulated in the laws for the process of selection for the commissioners as well as the board. And I'm so happy that the Ministry of Justice has already started writing to the AU as well as to the UN so that they provide the other three non-South Sudanese members of the panel, or in fact, commissioners. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a long process since it started from a peace agreement, signing of peace agreement and the provision of Chapter 5 of the RRPs that provided for transitional justice, the CTRH, the CRA, as well as the hybrid code. And we are now on the right track in regard to the two bills. The only remaining is the hybrid code. And for us in the parliament, our role is oversight. And the implementation of these three mechanisms actually is the responsibility of the executive.
Yes, you have heard from that is Honorable Deng Bona Lawrence, who is the chairperson for a standing committee for peace and reconciliation there. And now, also speaking at the conference, Jacqueline Nasiwa, representing civil society organizations, said the event marks a turning point where survivors of conflict can begin to see justice and community can begin healing through a reparation program. More from that's Jacqueline, who spoke on behalf of, who spoke on behalf of that's the civil society organization right here.
On behalf of the Civil Society Forum and on behalf of our chairperson, who is not here with us today, allow me to thank you for joining us in this important convening today. Today's occasion is one of the processes that the Civil Society Forum had been following keenly from 2012 in terms of our peace-building processes and also shaping the governance for our Republic of South Sudan. The Civil Society Forum is a network of more than 200 civil society members, activists, lawyers, and the media. And we are in all the 10 states and the 3 administrative areas. In our work of transitional justice started way back in 2013, following the violent conflict that confronted our nation. And the civil society worked diligently in ensuring that transitional justice become the core of our peace-building processes and peace agreements. We have worked closely with like-minded institutions, especially with our policymakers at the Parliament, the Ministry of Justice and Ministry of Gender, and as civil society we did a lot of consultations, and then we established the first Transitional Justice Working Group for South Sudan, which is one of the core lead in terms of advancing the transitional justice agenda for South Sudan. We have also done a lot of awareness around the transitional justice process. And honorable guest of honor, I would like to inform you that we work closely with the government during the period for the public consultations around the Commission for Truth, Healing and Reconciliation and with the task force of the Ministry of Justice. And the views that were collected inform the 2 legislations that our Parliament also passed. And we worked with the Parliament through the Peace Committee in holding public hearings around this bill. And we are happy that the survivor-centered approach embedded the design of these two legislations. And there are very important aspects of the legislation that require civil society, policymakers, and the institutions of the peace agreement to work hand in hand in advancing the transitional justice agenda. We ask ourselves many times, why are we talking about transitional justice in South Sudan? An honorable guest of honor, regional experiences have shown that advancing transitional justice helped in terms of institutional reforms, national healing, and also reconciliation and advanced development in those countries. And I'll just say the few of them are our neighbors, Rwanda, Kenya, Uganda, and far, including Liberia and the Gambia. Most of these experiences show that a new beginning in post-conflict situations require a robust transitional justice program. And this is in our peace agreement. Much as the process is slow, we feel that it's now the time to expedite this process for the establishment of these institutions so that we start a new beginning for South Sudan. And a new beginning where survivors get justice, where communities start rebuilding through the post-reparations program, and where also the wounds created by war start to heal.
Yes, that was Jacqueline Nasiwa, a representative of Civil Society Forum right there. And finally, on behalf of the African Union Mission in South Sudan, Dr. Prosper Ado revealed that both the AU and the United Nations have started consultations on the selection process for the Transitional Justice Commission. Let's hear briefly from him, then we get to, of course, to our discussion right here.
The AU mission in South Sudan commends this initiative and also wish to inform participants herein gathered that the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, as requested by the RXS, has written to the AU regarding the nomination of 3 other commissioners. As my brother Dr. Musa mentioned, and out of a total of 7, they are supposed to nominate 3 from other African countries. The AU and UN have, as a result, begun consultations on the selection process, and we wish to assure you that it will equally be fair, transparent, competitive, and merit-based, as well as gender-sensitive. Excellencies, the African Union will celebrate Africa Day on 25 May 2025, and the organization's theme for the year is Justice for Africans and People of African Descent through Reparations. The theme focuses on addressing historical injustices of the past, including slavery, colonialism, apartheid, and genocide, through a global-scale reparations mechanism. Professor Biswaro has published a 2-volume book on this topic, which is available on Amazon and also at the AU MIS as a contribution to the issue of transitional justice and issues to do with reparations. And we encourage you all to get a copy in this regard. This issue of human rights, or the issue of human rights, justice and reconciliation is therefore of critical importance at all levels of society. And delays must not prevent addressing past injustices and impunity through establishing the truth, reconciling societies, holding perpetrators accountable for their deeds, and paying reparations to victims and survivors for the injustices they suffered. We should continue to raise our voices wherever we are. Let me conclude on this note by wishing you fruitful deliberations for the next 2 days as we look forward to productive engagements and networking between and among stakeholders towards upholding human rights, justice, and reconciliation in South Sudan. The AU wishes to reaffirm its pivotal role in this endeavor. May God bless you all. I thank you. Asante Sana.
Yes, you've heard from Dr. Prosper Ado, who spoke on behalf of the ambassador of African Union Mission in South Sudan, right there. Now, let me give you some little bit of information about this commission. Remember, the commission will be constituted by 7 members. And out of these 7 members, according to the peace agreement, 4 must be South Sudanese and 1 must be a woman. Okay, and the rest now will come from other African countries, and they will have a specialized committee also that will deal with the specific issues, and the rest will be also selected, and most of them will not be that's a politician, or none will be a politician in the commission, and civil society will be included, faith-based group will be included, and prominent that's personality will be included in that group, and people with that's high integrity, people that cannot be easily bought or bribed, okay, during the process. And the commission is responsible to addressing past abuses. More especially, we know the 2 major events that happened here in South Sudan, 2013 and 2016, and the commission will be responsible to that's addressing past issues. Now, the transitional justice mechanism like a truth commission and reparation program help address the widespread human rights abuses and atrocities committed during South Sudan's decades of that conflict right here, and they will be also promoting that accountability by holding perpetrators of past crimes accountable. Transitional justice also help to ensure that such abuses are not repeated. Now, with this development on board and names already of the candidate from South Sudan, as you have heard, has been already submitted, and voting will also start soon, and iRadio will follow up with this development story as the stakeholders push forward with the effort to deliver justice and reconciliation across the country. Now, what's your text? Share with us on 0911-2298696. As we all know that yes, bad things has happened, but there's such a commission. You talked of the hybrid court. What's your take on it? Is it possible? And if not, why not? مستمعين في كل محل ده بقى فرصة لك عشان تصل في 09 وايد ولا 22986 زي ناس ما خلاص مجاهد عشان كيف transitional justice mechanism has بتوب زلو وادي أو الناس الجزء منهم بجاينوا في مشاكلات بالضبط الخناصل في جنوب السودان إني خاص بالذات في 2013 و 2016. نعم في جزء منهم بقول لبقى فرصة للجنوبين عشان كيف حاجة الجزء منهم على حاصل في 2 سنين لنا قرأوا كمان في جزء من human right abuses على حاصل، لكن قضيات هاقو ما هلو دي بقيت فرصة بالضبط بقول شنو ناسمع من مكالمة ده راديو.
الو
يا ماما ماريا.
سلطانة ماما ماريا.
مرحبا.
أنا سلم أنت في الاستديو، أنا سلم مستمعين كله.
شكرا.
يا لايتاينو نجراك بناس ديك اللي جا ندير كلمون سالا أتا على حصل ده كلمون سالا يلا كل جيبوا سلام لنا جنوبين أنا ما دير أجل بطال أنا بس دير ومن كل جا يلا كلمون قبل ناس المسؤولين تنا على ناس كبار ده يلا ومن كل جا المسؤولين ده تاب ومن كل ونسو ده اللي يا جماعة إتفق أتانا ها حاجة كان حصل ناس بعملوا عفو ها Apu dia amma haja fi dunia de ita kan ga api ko buna ga da api leta lakin kan ta maga api ma kwes lajin apu de haja linna junubi anna de kullu junubi salakan usitan salakan parjatu salakan nimil wa der salam hasa fi junub sudan yani atali hasal de kullu kulina masa bara kulina bada sefal jadid ay ana rakbu mon be ism te sale masul ko mon de wonsu kalama li diga kelima amulu kida ya gale naso de pat o mapi netija li ja ali burile na gale naso de wonsu jibu netija jede mapi de kalama mapi ay
shukran jazilan mama Maria. Naam deka na mama Maria wa kaman min juz min saba nasa albaden bejazilu fi commission del gal 4 minum bukunna junubin uwaid lazim ikun mara de wasat tifagia bugul zede yala fi juzu minaz bugul nam de biga fursa ashan kef junubin basu mafishonal batal hasi lakin fi juzu minaz bukalma awal haja de bukun salam yala badag lo fi hadala de reji bieji lakin salamu don hadala kamanta bugul bedabshino ay radio arjatani mara luka sabit fi 09 wala 22 9 6 sharik manina araya bitafi zaman bitasa as we are talking about the establishment of the transitional justice mechanism here in Juba. What would be your take right here as the stakeholders have gathered today to begin consultation and establishment of these important members of this important commission right here. I read you.
Yes, Madrama.
Aywa.
Misal Kerako.
Misal Nur.
Kodakol, Madinama.
Marhab.
Madrama, Shakor, the Banam, the Egyptu at what the Nazan Kungu was now. It is a system, Diamond Mafia, Bamura Jaga, Lay, and it's a dummy system. And I'm using Kanu, Manaman Kalando, Manaman Sabla, Opus. Kuma batal and kalama bita buta da sai mu batal ta rana da mun na ta ne khabir islami da fin ayi hajar kana kalam fi agreement fi access kan diga ino fi foundation da ta dar ya mu tasis anina ma ba mu rajak ana fi chafiya rayati I welcome it lay ashanino that offer will be also alive nas baden ba da shoya na manukun na da yamce na tartibat kullu dol basalu ita maktabata bada da kiyamar da shi faita na salami to a mata shi fa ana bishu bas ana soti bas no al percentage kan galin dile mara kalile dile mara gada da wannan suwad bitan nas mujal mara bas da kafiyan yino da mara bita madrama james au da mara bita da amida la khali di zo indi qualification al bagdar yino wari na ga badin ma yigif taban al gabal bita jinu sudan ma asir fil al adas da katir before tried ma se jor bugulna ma se jor bitai wada fa inu fina bindu demand na man maktab be amli stabilize mana to lazim na yarga al maluma da to fi dol bakan kaya ba shani na mai wadi da kalam ya katal gribi iman kaya da kira sa aliyan be rag mai na maktab da kan biga baden sai free ai zo bamce na bamce maktab wa aswada bamce na da ma shakkiyan bamce kan dinujin kullu wa na mana mara da baden rashaw kale rashaw ya kala ja ta dinujin
shukran jazilan أنا في زمن بتاعي نشيل فاصل بس يلا بعد كنا بيرجع وقدم مناقشة برضو.
The Ministry of Health is conducting a commemoration of African Vaccination Week with a new vaccine introduction of pneumonia vaccine, targeting all children aged between 6 to 14 weeks. Take your child to the nearest vaccination center during the African Vaccination Week or Big Catch-up campaign.
Good morning, Mama Alice.
Good morning, Mama Ladu. Where are you coming from this morning?
I had taken Ladu for pneumonia vaccination at the health center to protect my child against pneumonia and meningitis. He was also vaccinated with other routine immunization vaccines at no cost. Is baby Alice already vaccinated?
Yes, she was vaccinated last month. Does she need to be vaccinated again?
Yes. She needs to be vaccinated with at least 3 doses at 6, 10, and 14 weeks to be fully vaccinated, immunized, and protected against pneumonia.
Really? I just heard from afar that there will be a vaccination campaign during the African Vaccination Week, but I was not keen enough to get the details.
You know, Pneumonia vaccine is effective in preventing pneumonia and deaths in infants and young children. This vaccine has just been introduced this year, 2025. A lot of children were not vaccinated. Some even travel without being vaccinated. I wouldn't want to see any child get pneumonia.
I didn't know that pneumonia is very serious, that it can cause meningitis and even death.
Yes. Pneumonia is a life-threatening disease caused by bacteria or viruses. The signs are cough, fever, chills, and shortness of breath, which may be accompanied by chest pain when breathing or coughing. Children who survive may experience long-term effects on lung function and increased risk of respiratory conditions like asthma.
Asthma or lung function complication? Oh, that sounds scary. How can I protect my child from this dangerous disease?
The only way for your child to be safe is when your child and all children in your neighborhood are vaccinated with pneumonia vaccine.
I will do that immediately. Where can I take my child for this vaccine? Hope it is not late.
No, you are not late. Pneumonia vaccine and all the other routine vaccines are available at all government health centers in your areas. Tell your neighbors with children between 6 to 14 weeks to be vaccinated.
I'm glad you told me. I will take my child immediately to the nearest health center for pneumonia vaccination.
Bring your child to the nearest health center and protect them from pneumonia and other vaccine-preventable diseases. This message is brought to you by the National Ministry of Health with support from WHO, UNICEF, and South Sudan Women in Medicine.
The Sundown, for the news, views, opinion, debates, and discussions. Listen to who is who talking about issues that affect our country and continent. Only on the Sundown, your eye on South Sudan.
Yes, welcome back from the commercial break. And if in case you have just joined us, you're listening to the Sundown Show with me, Madrama James, and we have been talking about that government and stakeholders that have begun a 2 days conference on the establishment of the transitional justice mechanism here in Juba. But for now, let's turn to another topic where the newly appointed South Sudan police spokesperson, Major General James Mandi Enoka, has promised to work hand in hand with the media as he assumes office. Major General Mandi returns to the position with a wealth of experience, having served 40 years in the police force, 25 years in Sudan before independence, and 15 years in South Sudan following the country's birth in 2011. He made the pledge during his first press conference since returning as the official face of the South Sudan National Police Service, where he outlined his priorities and responded to promising questions from journalists. But before we get to hear from the Major General, let's first take a listen to his predecessor, Colonel John Kasara, who addressed the media earlier this afternoon during his handover ceremony. And my colleague, Kobacho Kushagao, attended the event and he got for us this.
It is an honor to be handing over the office to Major General James Mandi Enoka, the new acting spokesperson of South Sudan National Police Service, who once served as a spokesperson of National Police Service some years back. In fact, James Mandi Enoka was my monitor before I was appointed as the spokesperson of South Sudan National Police Service, and he will forever remain my monitor, and he will be my reference in case of any difficulties I will find in the Director of Human Resource Development that I'm resolutely transparent in. As I'm today handing over the position of the spokesperson of National Police Service that I have held for the last 10 months, I'm filled with a sense of gratitude, pride, and humanity. I'm leaving the position as I came, grateful, happy, and with a strong sense of national duty. I'm soon starting a new journey of national duty as I'm heading to the Director of Human Resource Development. I must acknowledge that the position of the police spokesperson was one of the greatest honor of my life, and I thank God for His protection and guidance during my 10 months work as the spokesperson of National Police Service. I want to express my deepest gratitude to General Abraham Manyot Peter, the Inspector General of Police, and the entire leadership of South Sudan National Police Service for the support, advice, and great teamwork, confidence and trust they placed in me during my time as the spokesperson of National Police Service. And I'm looking forward for the continued support and guidance. For all the technical departments, the traffic police, the criminal investigation department, the professional standard unit, operation, I thank you all for your commitment to protecting our communities and for upholding the values of integrity, professionalism, and the rule of law. Your collective efforts and support toward the office of the spokesperson continue to make a positive impact on safety and well-being of our citizens, and thank you all for the constant update on crimes and safety. At this juncture, I want to congratulate my manager, Major General James Monday Inoka, for taking over this responsibility of the spokesperson of National Police Service, and I'm sure he will excel. Please don't hesitate to reach me out for any assistance. I'm happy to provide any support. To the officers and NCOs of Media Department, I extend my heartfelt gratitude for your support, trust, and loyalty during my time as the spokesperson of the National Police Service. Your resilience and dedication to the Media Department of Police made it an honor to lead and serve alongside you. I'm confident under Major General James Monday Inoka, the Media Department of the National Police Service of South Sudan will make wonders. Lastly, I would like to give my special thanks to the media houses for their cooperation with me as the spokesperson of the National Police Service for the last 10 months and for publishing all the events of the South Sudan National Police Service whenever they are called for coverage. And I want you to do the same cooperation you have shown me with Major General James Monday Inoka, the incoming spokesperson of the National Police Service. Thank you all.
Yes, you have heard from, that is John Kasara, and let's now listen also to Major General James Monday Inoka, who highlighted his commitment to transparency, community engagement, and most notably, strengthening relations with the media to ensure timely and accurate information reaches the public. He further noted that his office is open to inquiries and pledged to keep the public information about key police activities, investigations, and security threats. Now we want to hear more from Monday, Major General Monday Inoka.
There are 4 reasons why I called this press conference, and this includes 1, to introduce myself to the media houses in the country, and also to explain how the police media will work, interact, and collaborate with all the media houses to promote peace, justice, and development in South Sudan. Number 2 reason is to update the public on the general security situation in the country according to police reports. Number 3 is to highlight and emphasize on the important role of community policing as the workable strategy for combating and preventing crimes in the society. The last reason is to highlight challenges which the police are facing. On the same note, to request the public to support and cooperate with the police and other security organs, as security is collective responsibility. Members of the media house, I am called Major General James Monday Noka. I'm the new official spokesperson of South Sudan National Police Service. I am a professional police officer with the experience of 40 years, having spent 25 years in the police of Sudan and now 15 years in the police of South Sudan. I have worked during the study period in different police units and departments. This is my second time, as my predecessor just said, to be deployed as the spokesperson of South Sudan National Police Service. Therefore, at this juncture, I want to take this opportunity to thank and appreciate the leadership of South Sudan National Police Service for the trust and the confidence bestowed upon me to handle this sensitive office. My special thanks to General Abraham Peter, our current Inspector General of Police, who has redeployed me to this department again. I will not forget to thank my predecessor. He is my excellent officer. He worked with me in Torit. It was there that he was appointed as a spokesperson, and I blessed his appointment. He is very dynamic, hardworking. He has been redeployed to the teaching institution, that is Human Resource Development, where he will be a lecturer in the Police College and Police Academy and Police Institute. I also want to thank the deputy spokesperson. This is Major Secretary General Liv Livingstone. She was the one working closely with the Colonel John Kasara. They've done excellent job, and she's remaining. She's going for another assignment. With her, we have worked with her also on many issues. We have attended more than 5 international conferences with her. She's a dynamic police leader. I thank you for working closely with my officer, John Kasara. The spokesperson of South Sudan National Police Service is mandated to handle a very important directorate known as the Directorate of Moral Orientations and Public Relations. This directorate consists of a number of departments which include public relations, protocol, information, special protection unit, and community policy. It is this department which is much linked with the public, and what they do is what is reflected by the spokesperson. The main objective of this directorate is to portray the positive image of the police institutions among the public at national, regional, and international levels. It plays a key role in influencing the community to build the confidence and trust in South Sudan National Police Service. Therefore, the spokesperson and his staff are committed in implementing key strategies such as improve media relations. You are very important to us. We must have good relations, develop effective internal communication, encourage community participation in policy programs. The director of the directorate, who is also the spokesperson, is answerable to the Inspector General of Police. He reports to the Inspector General of Police. As a focal point for the media, the role of the spokesperson includes the following: coordinating with the local media to strengthen information effectiveness through the use of available print, broadcast, and TV, organizing press conferences such as this, and issuing press statements after approval by the Inspector General of Police, receiving calls and interviews from the media houses, ensuring the production of police magazine. Having explained the role of the spokesperson, I now request all the members of the media houses to work and coordinate with the spokesperson as the reference source regarding information about police institutions. Media houses should refer to the spokesperson as the source of the information. Anything short of this will be considered a violation of the laws, including media laws and regulations. Members of the media house, I will have a system in place like making press conferences weekly or monthly. I will communicate with you, and actually I will also develop my timetable. By those days I used to have timetable, and especially in the TVs and radios. I used to have that one those days. So I will plan that. But please, you are welcome at any time when you want to. I did mention my functions. Picking calls, interviews, all this is my responsibility. Don't hesitate. I remember my family when I was the first spokesperson the first time. My wife said, okay, she's going to leave the room for me. I said, why? Because people from outside, when they are calling us, it is day there, it is deep night here. When they are calling us at night from Australia, from Europe sometimes coincides, from America, it is a different time, it is time of sleeping here. So I told my wife, you have to bear it. If you are leaving this room, to which room are you going and who is there? So this is your room. You must just get used to it. When I'm shouting at night, you just close your ear, don't mind. So you are welcome. Please communicate with me at any time. I will respond to your queries. I still want to remind you not to pick any fake things about the police. You please call me to confirm. I really appreciate your questions and the queries. This is the way we have to proceed. I really appreciate it very much. I believe when I take 1 week on my office, I will have been knowledgeable of other development which I don't know yet, which is in the head of my brother here who's leaving the office today. Otherwise, I thank you for coming and for your good cooperation with me.
Yes, you have heard more from Major General James Monday Enoka, and that happened during the handover ceremony here in Juba. With that, dear listener, it's now high time for us to have the news headlines. When we come back, do not hesitate to share with us your work relations with the police here in South Sudan. Do you think the renewed commitment by the new police spokesperson to work with the media will help improve public trust in law enforcement? And you can call us on 0911-022-986-986. I've been your host, Madrama James.
إحنا كلنا جنوبيين سودانيين، ما مهم منو جاي من وين. إحنا محتاجين نحترم بعض وندعم بعض لأنه إحنا واحد. إحنا كلنا بشر كسودانيين جنوبيين بنستحق عشان نعيش بالسلام، نستحمل بعض ونصالح خلافاتنا ونعيش بالسلام. ده رسالة تسامح والتعايش السلمي بيجيك من اي راديو هناك في جنوب السودان.
This is iRadio.
The iRadio.
Your eye on South Sudan.